Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Thornbrook Farm. So, I've done a little bit off camera, and as you can see, one of the things I did is I bought a combine harvester. The reason I did this, and you know this from some of my other videos, we always run out of money, and we end up renting a harvester. Not necessarily a bad thing, and in some ways, almost more realistic. Farms tend to rent a lot of equipment. And the other cool thing about renting is you get to have a different harvester every fall. I just didn't feel like doing that. As we're getting close to the end of FS17, I wanted to actually own our own harvester, even though we won't need it for a while. And I went ahead and got this is from the, I want to say this is from the Modding Welt pack. And this is the 100-year edition of the 770, the Lexian. This is really a great mod. If you've never been to Modding Welt, I believe it's modding, modding hyphen Welt, V-E-L-T, and then it's either .com or .de, but they are German modders, and they're super, super cool. They make really good stuff. They actually make the, well, I think a member of their crew makes the Herman's Eck map that we're on, and also another member of their crew is Farmer Andy, who makes the Coda Universal pack that everybody uses, everybody knows and loves. So that is one thing that we got. Let me show you some other things that I got off camera, and I teed everything up on this side of the map, so we're just going to hop right in and start working as soon as I take you on a tour of our new equipment. So I'm trying to do this. You know I love to surprise you. You know I do. So I'm trying to do this very carefully and only show you what I want to show you. So you know we've got this 3800, probably too big for this map, but it's such a cool tractor. It's so much fun. Let's go ahead and keep that. Now then, next to it we had an 800, which has magically become a 900. Again, possibly too big for this map, but not really. I mean, you look at field number 4, that's a great big field. I don't know that I'd want to do that with a little compact tractor. So we took our 800 that was on our hard manure spreader, and we traded it in on another 800, but the first 800 that we had could not accept a front loader, and I wanted a front loader, so we've got still an 800 series, but this one does have a front loader attachment. So we got that, and we've got a tipper. Now this is the, I've heard it said a lot of different ways. I've heard Broen, I've heard Brogan, I've heard Brogan, Brohan, and just Brown. But this is their tipper, and I believe somebody modded this a little bit, so you can change the color now. It typically comes in only green, but I made it white to go with the rest of our tractors. We also got the Kloss Scorpion. This is a fantastic mod. Oh my goodness. It's super detailed, dynamic hose all over, front and rear, great sound, Nokian tires. Love this mod. And then we got one more thing. And this is going to be controversial. That Lexian harvester that we got, I got the smallest, no, I take that back. I got the second smallest header that's available for that. And I believe it's a 10 meter. I think you can get like a 7.8 meter, but that's a pretty big harvester. This thing is just way too big and completely uncalled for on this map. But again, it's a cool tractor. And when FS19 comes out, it's going to be a couple months before tractors like this have been modded and converted for it. So yeah, we did it. We did it. So what's on the agenda for today? And how are we doing on time? First off, 4 minutes. Okay. What's on the agenda for today? Well, first we're going to hop in this 900 series, and we are going to spread poo on, what am I looking at here? Field 8. And I want to see how far it goes. We've got the spreader that we have, I think is appropriate for this map. And you'll have to let me know how you feel about that. I think it's appropriate for this map. You know, one of the things that is, I don't want to say tricky. How do I want to say it? And also, let's do, I see a GPS dome on this tractor. So let's set the brake, and let's set up right there. Let's set up GPS and do this proper. Come on. You can you can see the dead zone in my gamepad. The dead zone is really, really tight. So what happens is, see what had happened was, because the dead zone in my gamepad is so tight, as soon as I set my gamepad down to do anything with my mouse, the camera starts like gradually drifting. Right. So we get this over here. That's about right. Close enough. Set the cruise control. What's a good speed for spreading hard manure? I say 10 miles per hour. Right. Lock that in. And here we go. So one of the things that I think is really, it's both tricky and enjoyable about this sim is there is a compression factor, both time and distance. And I've said before that a real farmer in real life could spend a couple of days prepping a field, you know, subsoiling it or cultivating it or any of the other evolutions that are required to get a field ready to be seeded or anything. And you can't really do that. No one's going to spend 10 or 12 or 16 hours sitting at their gaming rig just doing one thing to one field. We want a field to go by in about, I don't know, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Maybe a really big field, you spend an hour on it, you know? So there is a compression factor. And I think we get that as gamers. Wow, we're going to need a lot of manure because we used just about half a spreader on one length. Okay, I ain't scared. So I think finding that balance where, say, we'll use this hard manure spreader as an example. There's a big enough manure spreader available in the store that we could probably, well, we might even be able to finish this entire field in one load, right? Not realistic, way too big for this map. The other thing we could do is go into the XML file for this manure spreader and make its capacity 500,000 liters or whatever. And people do that. You see mods like that on the dodgy mod sites, right? Combine harvester with a 100-meter wide header and just people being silly. But we try to be realistic farmers. So I think this is an appropriate manure spreader for this map. But again, you know, in real life, a farmer might spend a day or two working on this field, and we're only going to work on it for 20 minutes today, half an hour. And it won't be done. It won't be all the way done. We still need to subsoil it, plow it, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. It's the balance between being realistic, which we absolutely want to do, and having some fun, which we also want to do. I mean, that's the whole reason we're here. And I'm definitely a believer in the fact that just because something's difficult doesn't mean it's not fun. I mean, I like challenges. That's a big part of gaming for me, is I like challenges. I like when it's difficult. But I don't like when it's boring or tedious, you know? So right now we have another choice, and that choice is drive to the other side of the map to refill this thing, or refill it by dumping out what we have in our tipper. And that's going to be our dedicated, turn that off, that's going to be our dedicated manure tipper. You know, I got a thing about not using the same tipper for manure and silage and grains, so that's going to be our dedicated manure tipper. We could dump that out and we could load this thing with the Scorpion. The problem that I have with that is I'm a little bit slow and awkward using any kind of a front loader or telehandler. And the reason is because I'm using both a gamepad and a flight stick. I have a flight stick that controls my front loader and telehandler operations, and then I have a gamepad that controls everything else. So I need to switch back and forth. It makes it really slow and kind of, you know what I'm saying? Not too cool. So let's do this. It's going to be quicker, and it's going to be, I think, more interesting to just hop over to the other side of the map, even though it's all the way on the other side of the map. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll come back. We'll spread what we can on the rest of this field, all right? And then we will hop in our 3800, I believe, has the subsoiler on it, and we'll do a little bit of plowing. It's a fairly, we've got what, that Cavernaland? We've got that Cavernaland on there, which is 4 meter, maybe? It's not terribly wide. So we'll just do a few lengths, and then we'll call it. And I think we're going to make pretty good progress on this map. I'll do a lot more off camera, and when we come in next time, we'll be ready to, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but when we come in next time, we'll be ready to hopefully start planting some crops. And we need to figure out what we're going to do there as well. I got the Lemkin cultivator behind that Zarian. So maybe we'll go all Lemkin, and that was what we were doing on, carefully, that's what we were doing on Upton. We had all Lemkin implements, and I already got the Lemkin. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I just remembered I already got the Lemkin seed drill that we were using on Upton. That is it the Azimuth hybrid? I can't remember. But it's the one that, it's another fantastic mod. I think it's from the mod contest last year. 2 years ago now. But it is the, it's like the head unit, and then you put the, I don't know what you'd call them. The actual drill implements mount onto the head unit. I'll show it to you. You know the one I'm talking about. I think it's right here. Is this our farm? Yep, it is. So let me get pulled over here, and we'll go take a look at that thing. I'm glad I remembered that, because then we would have bought another one. Oh, man. This is what happens when you run 4 maps at once. Right. So we'll leave that there. And where did I put this thing? It is, I want to say it could be right about, perhaps it is right there. Yep. Yeah, you know this thing. This is the one we used on Upton. So this front unit, is it the Azimuth? Azurit. Okay. So this front unit, looking at this thing, everything that is to the left of center is what I call the head unit. And then down under here, down under here, there we go. These things right here are interchangeable for different types of crops. So, cool. I guess we're going all Lemkin once we autosave. Yep. Okay. I guess I decided that at some point and then forgot. But there you go. Back in here. Brakes off. Hazards off. Beacons off. And we're rolling. Okay. So we'll take that over. Now that Zarian that we got, I feel like that's got some attachments that can go directly on it, almost like a farm truck. I want to say there's like tipper bodies and broadcast spreaders and liquid fertilizer sprayers and various other implements that can go on that body, because the cab is so far forward, it's got that big deck on the back, like it's clearly meant to be used for something. But I need to track down what those implements are, because what's available right now are there's a 75,000 liter tipper body that I have to say is, I feel like some parts of that mod are really well implemented and other parts are just kind of, ugh. So the tractor itself is gorgeous, but some of the implements that go with it, not so good. So I'm gonna have to take a look and see if I can track down some other components for that truck, because as it stands right now, it doesn't make any sense that we would just use it for a tractor. I mean, it's obviously meant to be more than that. It's got all that length on it and that big deck surface. So, going to be a little bit unrealistic here as we're loading up manure. Going to be a little bit unrealistic, but like I said, I'm kind of gotta be real with you. I'm kind of slow and sloppy on the front loader, and it's not a problem when I'm just playing for my own, gaming enjoyment. But on camera, it gets tedious real fast. And I don't want to do time lapses, but even that, I mean, I guess we could talk about that a little bit. When I first started the channel, I had all these, they weren't rules, but they were sort of ideas that I had about what I wanted the channel to be, and things like, I wasn't going to do intro graphics. I just wanted the channel to be, kind of clean, and I wasn't going to do thumbnails, right? Everything was going to be, like, every thumbnail was going to be something that you would actually see in the gameplay, right? Trying to be super legit. And it's obviously moved away from that. I'm doing a lot of things that I wasn't doing before. So the idea that I could start doing time lapses it's like anything else that I felt strongly about when the channel first started. Like, oh, I'm never going to do that. And I do all kinds of stuff I said I wasn't going to do. So I'm not opposed to the idea of a time lapse if it moves the episode along, and if it's enjoyable, if it, you know what I mean? So, in fact, let me think about that. Let me think about, probably not this episode because I didn't set up the timing for it, but what I can do is for things like stacking bales or getting all this hard manure into the spreader. Yeah, you know what? If nothing else, we can at least test it, right? We'll try it out and see how it works. Maybe it works and it's awesome. Maybe it doesn't. So now, something else that I thought about. In fact, let me back up so I'm not blocking the track here. Put that right back there. Set the brake. There is, we're right here now. We're going to be working right here, and there's a cutoff. I feel like it's right around here. You want to go discover that now? Take it off the list? Yeah, let's do that. When it comes to Lancyboi maps, this is my experience. There's always a shortcut. It's like the Sith Lord and the Apprentice. Always there are two. So. Except when there aren't. Or is it up by the sawmill? If it is up by the sawmill, that's not much of a shortcut. And I'm not complaining when I say that. I'm just making the observation. I also noticed, or I think I've noticed, that there's no BGA on this map. I don't see one. Which doesn't mean that there isn't one, but I don't see it. I don't see it on the mini-map, and I haven't seen it as I've been exploring. So, yeah. Concentrating. You know how I get quiet when I concentrate. So yeah, I have not seen a BGA, and that's something, I think we get used to, and you even see it in descriptions on either the mod hub or on the dodgy mod sites. You see a description, and it will typically say something like all FS17 features included. And we know what that means, right? That means there's going to be, not here? No? Maybe there's not a shortcut. Okay. Okay, we'll drive around. We got to keep things moving. But we know what that means. It means there are going to be sheep, there are going to be pigs, there's going to be cows. There's going to be an animal sell point. There's going to be, right? You know what I mean? And one of the things that has, well, since I came into this game in FS15, one of the things that there's always been is a BGA, right? But that doesn't mean there always has to be. and I think it's, I don't want to say this. I think it's definitely an extra challenge, but I think I like when a map maker doesn't just take all the regular components of a farm sim map and just move them around. Like this map does not have moment. Doesn't have pigs. I've seen maps that are all logging. They don't have any animals at all. I've seen, you know what I mean? Different variations. So if there's no BGA, and I really don't think there is. We'll take another look at the end of the episode, but I don't think there is. If there's no BGA, the reason that's sort of important is it takes away one of the sort of big sources of income that you can have other than actually growing crops and selling them, which is to mow grass or corn. Well, you know what I mean. Forage corn. You don't really mow corn. I suppose you could, but you know what I mean. Corn or grass into the bunker, and then you sell it for silage and you get digestate for it. That's kind of you can use that to bail you out of a lot of financial problems. You know, if you get deep enough in debt, you can just plant all your fields with corn and sell it all for silage. Now with seasons, you will drop the price and it's a little harder, but you know what I mean. So if there's no BGA, that changes our plans. I was talking last episode about maybe planting some corn. And if there's no BGA, there's really no reason to, especially if there's no pigs. Because if we do grow corn, then all we can do is sell it. And it's not the most profitable crop. So, yeah, man, I like when map makers get creative like that and do things a little differently. So, we'll see. I'll take another look around. I sure didn't see it. Boy, if I'm wrong and it's like right there, that'll be embarrassing. But I've been embarrassed before. Not a big deal. Right. Back to our little base of operations here. Make that turn. Make this turn. I don't think we'll be able to finish this field, but hopefully we'll have enough done that we can whoa, going awfully fast. There we go. Hopefully we'll have enough done that we can get started with our that's not a subsoiler, that's an actual plow, like a proper plow. So we should have, yeah, because we got 2.5 lengths. Yeah, we'll do all right. We'll have enough done. I think what I'm going to do is, I think what I'm going to do is actually go to the right down here instead of the left. I think I'm going to do a headland, at least on the that would be the north side of the field. I think I'm going to do a headland so we can get our plow going and not worry about running up against an area at the edge of the field that hasn't been fertilized. You know what I mean? So, it's right in here. Right in here. Yep. And then we'll go across the top of the field and start another length, and I think that one will get maybe all the way down toward the bottom of the field, but not 100%. You see what I'm getting at. So we're not plowing an area that has not been fertilized yet, or at least mostly fertilized, because we're missing the very edge of the field right there. Something I really do like about Farm Sim is there's just like every episode, every map, every field, whatever, there's just problems to solve. That's a lot of fun for me, is trying to figure out, like, okay, now what? Now what do we do? So, and I think Yeah, I'm going to need to do a little bit of work on this field off camera to, yeah, to get the fertilizer sorted out, and also to, yeah, we'll figure it out. And then we'll go right down here. Cool, so we'll empty this thing, we'll get it parked, and then we'll go over and hop in our 3800 and do just probably a couple lengths of plowing. And we'll call it. Where are we at on time? Perfect, 26 minutes. So we'll do a couple lengths, and that should take us right up to about half an hour. Now, as far as buying manure, I know that's kind of a gray area. Some people say that's cool, other people say it's not. The way I figure it is, you can buy manure. You can buy anything. You can buy anything you want in this world. So if you were in farm country, I'm sure there would be somebody, you know, if there are features on maps where you can sell manure, then I have no problem, as a gamer, I have no problem buying manure and knowing that it's legit. That's something you can do in real life, and that's something you can do in the game. So not a big deal. Same with bales. You can buy bales. If you can sell bales, somebody's buying them, right? Right. Set the brake. Run up here. And yeah, if we're using GPS for this plow, because it is an offset, there is a feature in GPS where you can put in the offset and have it flip automatically per length. And it might take me a second to remember how to do that, but we will set it up that way. Right. So let's do that. Let's do this. We're going to do coming way over here because I need to get my GPS heading, because this thing is so much narrower than the manure spreader. I need to get this thing over close to the edge of the field, or it'll keep skipping rows and never, you know what I mean? Because as you get close to the edge of the width of your implement, it jumps over one row. Like that. Okay. So now, let's unfold this thing. There you go. Send it to the right side. So when we say width, right? That doesn't look quite right. So we want it wider, but we want it offset. And reverse offset, automatic offset reversal. Yep. So we want that. Is it right there? Let's give it a try. No way to find out but to try it. So we're going to put it on a course, drop the implement. No. So we're going to drop the implement. We're going to do that. Does that look about right? It's too wide for one thing. So we got to make this narrower. Right about there. And then let's move this back over right about there. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so we'll go down to the end of this row, and we'll turn around, and we'll see, we're going to go a little bit narrower. Okay. We're going to go to the end of this row, and we're going to turn around and see whether it flips the offset automatically. And I want to say that because we have it selected, it'll be okay. It's either, well, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's either turning it on or turning it off that makes it work. Since those are the only two options, then yes, of course, turning it on or turning it off is one of the two. But we'll figure it out. Yeah, that looks about right. Oh, this is going to take forever. But like I was saying at the beginning of the episode, this is, you could put a 12-meter subsoiler on this tractor. Maybe not on this one, but on like a Big Bud or something. You could put a giant subsoiler and finish this field in 4 passes or 5 passes. But that's not realistic. A field like this would probably require at least a couple days of work in real life to get it prepped. So while we might not do a couple days of work on Farm Sim, I don't necessarily want a field to take, 2 or 3 minutes and then be done. I feel like that equipment would be way too big. So when we do this, so we lift this and then we flip it. And did that offset automatically? I think it did. Yep. Okay. And does it take it all the way over? Is there a gap there? Maybe a tiny, tiny little one. I can live with that. Okay. So, yeah, I'll go to the end of this row, and then I'll do the rest of this field off camera. But, yeah, we got, with this 4-meter? Yeah, I think this is a 4-meter plow. With this 4-meter, we've got some big fields to work on here. Right? Because field 8 is actually, I mean, to my eye, it's one of the smallest of the 3 fields that we own in a row on the west side of the road. Okay. It's a small map, but it's not that small. We got our work cut out for us. Okay. Cool. I'll head to the end here. Where are we at on time? 33 minutes. Perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. Where's my coffee at? Yes, I did just bump my thumbstick while I was reaching for my coffee. That's what happened there. Bit of a hill right there. Okay. See if we can make it up here without locking in the hubs. Probably not. There we go. 4-wheel drive solves everything. There you go. There you go. Turn that off, even though we won't be able to see it. Turn that off. Let's come out here and make ourselves a little thumbnail. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Thornbrook Farm. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.